I got a bug in my coffee.
You got a bug in your coffee?
I do. I looked at my coffee. I was like, dang it, I got a bug in my coffee.
Well,
it was kind of cold anyway.
What are you going to do? Well, how's it going, everybody? Well, this is a surprise, isn't it?
Surprise, surprise.
Look at us doing a morning show.
What? It's like
in the morning.
And the kids go back to school.
Except for, of course, one of them is home today sick.
Yes.
So much for that. But he's getting old enough that he can take care of himself.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, this is the morning show. This is something we have done a lot in the past, and due to moves, health issues, all kind of like fun stuff going on.
Put it on the back burner.
Yeah, it's been on the back burner, but it's been something that's been missing from our lives.
Yes, I miss it. I miss hanging out.
We truly enjoyed being able to communicate with you folks on a weekly basis in this format, even though it always loses us subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, that's okay.
But here's the thing that I've realized. It's a red herring.
Yeah.
That is a statistic that means nothing to our core business.
Yeah.
The core business is communicating with the people who are most interested in what we do here. That's you guys. So if you're watching this, we really appreciate it, and we enjoy having this little special time with you.
I love some of the comments that have been coming in. Someone, Marc Wood, he said, did somewhere just freeze over?
I think so, yeah. Somewhere in Florida. Possibly froze over.
Oh, Fleur.
So we're very happy to do this. We're not going to make any major promises about the future. Right now, the kids are in school. This is a good time to do the show. And
my health is stable.
Yeah, we do plan on making this like a weekly thing until otherwise disclosed.
Yeah. As of right now, we'll meet you back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Central.
Around the same time.
Somebody said, what is this, Canada? I think it was Jason Spenny that said that.
Not
is
Canada.
Is Central
I'm sure
Canadian?
there are times that align with the central time zone in Canada. But I think the time zones, they go up. Don't they?
I don't
They
know.
go vertical.
They go vertical.
Okay.
Yeah, like a
Now we're making ourselves sound stupid.
slice
so
of cake.
Let's talk about stuff we know. How about that?
It is technically, when we used to do this in Mountain Time, it's 9 a.m. Mountain Time. It's a really morning show for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're now at the same level. You don't see Ass Man above my head.
It could be arranged.
No, don't do it.
It's just a couple of screws. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I like standing when I present. It just helps energize me, but I also want you guys to see us. And it always looks weird when I'm up here and Nicole's down there, so... Hopefully this is a little more intimate.
I kind of like it because it gives me a chance to take a screenshot and I can put text above my head.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's, I mean,
so
whatever.
Just let's lay out expectations here. Just I don't want anybody to waste their time and misunderstand what we do here. Generally, we use this show to let you know about announcements, things that are going on, get some feedback from you, stuff you want to see us do. Like it's a wide open format. We take a lot of questions from the live chat. We also have questions that we pre-select in case you guys are super quiet and don't ask questions. We have questions that we could refer to. And then we, talk about products. We talk about techniques. We don't always get into deep demos or anything like that.
I'll be taking questions from the chat.
Yeah.
Christian is just wondering when it's going to start. It's not.
3 minutes ago. It started 3 minutes ago. And it's also very informal and very fun and very goofy. That's what we do here. We're a husband and wife team.
We like to have fun together.
In fact, I'm Marc.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is the morning show.
Yeah.
And we just goof off a lot. So if that's not your jam, we totally understand. I think the Cremonas still do their show in the evening.
Go hang out with the Cremonas. They drink wine.
You just like a different flavor of Woodworker.
Yeah.
We're more the coffee crew. They're kind of the wine crew, right? So let's look at it that way.
Okay,
let's get to a couple announcements.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get into the meat.
We got some meat and potatoes.
So I wanted to let you guys know that Wood Talk is back.
Oh,
if you
finally.
I know, we took a long summer break. If you follow us as a podcast, the Wood Talk Show, any podcast app is going to allow you to find that. It's just me, my buddy Shannon, and Matt. We have a great time. And we just put a new episode out on Wednesday.
As crotchety as you are, he does have fun.
I sometimes smile. Not all the time, and less every day, but sometimes
I think it was a classic Marc move that they recorded an episode back in, when was it?
It was the end of May.
The end of May.
Our second show for that month.
And all 3 of them did not realize that it was not posted.
It's a classic Wood Talk move. We never posted the second episode. So that was released on Wednesday, but we also recorded 2 new shows. So you're going to get 2 new shows in September on schedule, and we are back.
So did you release the May show already? Okay.
The thing is, we never mentioned anything about time-sensitive things in that episode.
That's good.
So nobody knew that it was an old episode. Oh, well. We also have a quick announcement about Carbon Method having a sale. They are a partner of ours that we've worked with. If you want to hit my little... my camera.
Sure.
I can show you kind of what we're talking about.
I'm a little rusty, so forgive me as I...
Taking your time. That's all right.
Taking my time.
Go the slow road.
All right.
We
there
love
you
the
go.
slow road.
There you go.
So they have an ultimate top coat. It's their nano finish kit, but it's the ultimate kit. It's the one that comes with everything, and that's not, I don't have everything here, but this is what you're going to see when you go there. So click the ultimate kit. Nicole's going to put the link in there, and you can save 20 or
20%, yeah.
And what is the code?
Labor Day 20.
Labor Day 20. So this, by the way, is the finish you put on top of your hard wax oil finish or something else. It's that extra protective nano layer on top of it. I have this on both of our tables at home, and I quite like it. We can have a different conversation about the fact that these finishes even have to exist, and that they may not like me talking about that, but different thing. But anyway, if you're...
you use that on the main table?
It's on our kitchen and our dining table, and it actually is holding up very well. So anyway, 20% off if you want to go take advantage of that. Nice little Labor Day sale.
And it's directly to... their website, right?
It is, and if you use our link, if you just use the code, it doesn't help us at all, but if you use the link that we're going to give you, that does engage their affiliate program, and we'll get a small slice of that.
There's the link. I see the link.
Yep.
So.
And as always, in this show, anything we do, we like to disclose when there's an affiliate relationship or if we received product for free or something like that. You guys need to know that going into it so you can make informed decisions.
Yeah. Let's see,
right,
what
what's the
else? Since it's Labor Day, I have a Labor Day sale going on in the Guild. 25% off all courses through Monday, except for the ones that have come out just this past year. So there's
always the rule.
All the ones on the top, basically from the Megan's bookcase was the last one. That came out October of last year. So Megan's boarded bookcase past are all 25% off. So if you use the code LABOR25,
Labor 25.
Labor 25, you'll get 25% off your courses.
And that's at thewoodwhispererguild.com.
Yep.
Go into the courses area, you'll see, gosh, we have like 60 plus courses now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but really good stuff.
And then
we do have some cool new stuff coming to the Guild soon.
Yes, I'm excited.
Really excited, but can't talk about it yet.
We've been busy.
I'm pulling a Johnson. Only a few people will get that joke.
You've been playing some WoW lately,
I've been
too.
playing some WoW,
Yeah,
yes.
listening to the Instance
Guess what
podcast.
downloaded last night, and I'm ready to play today, in spite of all the reviews and the riffraff, Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, is it getting bad reviews?
Well, expectations, it's an Ubisoft game, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, you guys know. Okay, what's next?
Broseph wants to know, is Carbon Method cheaper than N3 Nano? What's N3 Nano?
I think that's N3, isn't that the, what's the bald guy with the slabs?
Blacktail. Sorry, Blacktail.
It's just, I default to observations.
You're the guy with the glasses and gray hair.
The receding hairline guy with glasses. That's totally fine. The guy with the giant forehead, I'll take that too. These are all synonyms for me. I'm not exempt from that. Anyway, Blacktail Studio, I think he is the one that does the N3.
N3.
I don't know the pricing,
Yeah.
honestly. I work with Carbon Method, so I'm only familiar with their stuff.
We do have a question.
I would hazard that with the discount, this is going to be cheaper, even if this normally isn't cheaper.
Right. Question from Build and Fix with Mooney. I'm looking for a good benchtop drill press. Any brands you recommend? I'm a DIY shop with limited room. I have a Harbor Freight now, and it's almost worthless.
I don't know that category very well. I've had a floor standard, specifically benchtop versions. I've had floor standing for a long time. Prior to that, I had a Delta. That's what was at Lowe's at the time. That's what I could afford.
Around?
Yeah, I think they still
Yeah,
make tools.
yeah.
So I'm not sure what's there. I'm not going to be helpful to you, but I think the chat room might. If you guys have recommendations for one that's done really well.
Oh, Doug came in with the suggestion. I just picked up the new PM Powermatic benchtop. That number. So far, I really like it.
I didn't know that Powermatic had a benchtop drill press.
Yeah.
Maybe it's new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, there you go. And you
See?
can't go wrong with Powermatic.
Yep.
They make great stuff.
Kazank, he's here. Hey, Alex isn't in the chat, and I'm
No,
disappointed.
he is.
Alex?
I saw Alex
Oh,
earlier.
I didn't. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he made a whole joke and everything.
Oh, well.
You missed it. What?
Kazank says you're not the tattoo guy with the soul patch anymore.
No, I'm not. Gosh,
No.
and even if I grew the soul patch, it's gray now, and you won't even be able to see it. I'll tell you, the transition for those of us, and look, I get it. If you're balding, it's a worse problem, right? So complaining about gray hair, it's like kind of complaining about getting old. Like you're lucky to get old,
Yeah,
right?
we're very lucky to get old.
But I'm still going to complain anyway. When you're a guy that has black hair, the gray thing is so much more traumatic of a blow because it is a dramatically different color scheme. Like when you go gray,
I'll be like
you
blonde.
can elegantly slide into
Maybe,
gray,
yeah,
right?
I don't know.
I stumble and trip and fall on my face into gray. And it's like I look in the mirror and I don't even know who the hell
So
I'm looking at.
as your wife, though,
Yeah.
I think you look great
Well,
with gray.
I appreciate.
When you were younger
appreciate it.
and you would grow out your beard, it looked fake. It looked like you
I know.
took a Sharpie and put it on your face.
It looks like when I would dye my beard, right? Except for it was
yeah.
natural.
It was natural.
And that's why that's the thing, I never grew a beard because it looks so odd.
Yeah.
And then now when I do want to grow a beard,
I like it.
it's so much gray, I'm uncomfortable with it.
See, I like it though.
You guys know what
You
I'm talking
guys.
about. Okay.
Some of you.
Some
Some of you.
Not the ladies, most likely, but-
Some of you have grown with us.
Hey, you know what? Some guys can't even grow a good beard.
Well, and Rob said, "Hey, I started losing my hair at 17, so shut up."
That's what I'm saying. Hey, I disclosed that. I kind of said, look, you guys who lose your hair
Yeah.
have a bigger issue.
Yeah. So.
And I'm sympathetic.
Well, he's kind of like Steve Martin. He's perpetually 60.
Yeah, because he started graying
he started
early.
graying really
I know.
early. Yeah. We're going to WIA in October.
Oh, yeah, that's another
We should
announcement.
probably
So
announce
Woodworking
that.
America is back, if you're not familiar. Great woodworking show. It is a woodworkers woodworking show.
When was the last time they did a WIA?
I don't remember exactly, but it was
Somebody
a while
in the chat
ago.
might know.
Long enough that a lot of the people who are around now have never heard of it.
Really?
Yes.
That's so weird.
So if you are interested in attending that, I think it's October 11th and 12th.
Yep, we'll be there.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be presenting. Cremona will be there presenting. And it should be a great event.
I'll be there. They're going to give us a little table booth. I have some
Kids
new
in tow.
Kids in tow. I'm going to put them to work. See how that goes. I don't know.
It's going to be awful.
Got some new merch. I made some Oreo T-shirts,
Yeah, those are going to be fun.
so it'll be there. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, go check it out. It's
Yep.
totally worth it. Do we have a discount
we do
code for
have a
them?
discount. So if you use TWWG, I can't remember what the percentage is off on that, but you'll save money if you use TWWG as the coupon code.
So Dan from Carbon Method, always on time, wants everyone to know that the coupon code is Labor Day 20.
Labor Day. Yeah, I said Labor Day.
I know what I'm saying. He's not watching.
Oh, gotcha.
So, Dan, that was 5 minutes ago. All right. All right, let's get to, you want to get to
It
some
says,
questions?
tried using the guild discount. No, it's just, see, I should have just synced up with Carbon Methods. It's just Labor 20.
We have very similar coupon codes. So sorry. But it also is not going to work on Ava's. Did you catch?
Yeah, it's
he's
not
trying
good.
to use it.
Oh, yeah.
So right now we have.
No, he's doing it on the jewelry box.
Huh?
The jewelry.
Oh, I saw Ava and I thought it. Okay.
Nope.
I didn't realize we said Ava's jewelry.
You
box. Okay.
build a lot of stuff for Ava?
Wrong code. Just use the right code. But
Yeah.
Ava's Vanity, which is on pre-order right now, will not qualify for that discount.
But the
It's already cheap. God, it's like $30.
I know.
I did
Go
a pricing.
pre-order it.
Let me tell you guys something. I did a pricing experiment because we need to make some changes in the guild, financial changes. And I was like, well, let's go low and see what happens. I'm never going to do it again. It was bad. It's bad. It's not great. But
Yeah.
lots of people are enjoying
Yeah.
getting into the guild, and I'm very happy for you. But the low price thing, I don't think we're going to be able to do
Yeah.
that in the future.
Duggee, Jeffrey wants to know, will Duggee be a WIA? No,
be a
Duggee
damn
will.
nightmare.
Oh
You
my
don't want
God.
that. I don't
He
want
would
that.
he's a bulldog. So Duggee is our bulldog. If you
Yeah.
are curious about what Duggee looks like, he has an Instagram account at Duggee Spag, right?
Duggee
Yeah.
Spag.
But he, in true form of a bulldog, will just ram you. He'll go
Bowl
up and
you
just
over.
bowl
Knock
you
you right
over.
over. All right,
So,
let's get to more
all right.
questions.
Hey, we
Less
have
dog, more woodworking,
okay.
Nicole.
We have questions from Patreon and our YouTube members, and they submit these every week.
Yeah, every week I ask if you have some questions. I try to answer them. I sometimes pull those questions into a Q&A episode of the Wood Whisperer that I do if I feel like there's more like meat on the bone.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's also just a word warning. We will be making some changes to both of those programs. We're really trying to simplify. I think we've spread ourselves too thin, and we want to simplify so you guys have simpler choices.
Yes. So it's not so fragmented.
It's too fragmented.
Too fragmented.
I'm only one man, and I can only divide myself so many times.
Yeah. I did not. So much has happened since we've moved into the firehouse. Can we answer Apoopina's question? What's the story about getting a shop cat? There are people watching that don't even know we have a shop cat.
So the story of our shop cat, you can see him over here.
that's Oreo.
Starry Oreo. So what happened was a couple years ago now.
No, it's only been a year.
A year ago. It feels like it's been forever.
It was April of last year.
Right. So we lived in this area off of a gravel
dirt
road.
road, yeah.
And as the kids and Nicole were coming either home or to school, I can't remember, they found this kitten just in the middle of the road.
Peeking his head out of this.
He was in a tree stump.
It was in a. He was
Like
in
a hollowed out tree stump.
Yeah.
And so they saw him, they came home and told me about him. And I'm like, no. I don't care what the story is. I don't care how it started or how it ends. But it's not happening.
Vermin.
I don't like cats. We have 2 dogs. These dogs have not been raised around cats. This isn't going to work. So I said no. But then I was like, but yes, if you want to go feed this cat, like keep it alive, that's fine. Or take it to a shelter or something, go for it. So a couple days went by. A storm was coming.
A big storm.
The cat, no one was picking up the cat. We asked around, does anybody know this cat? It was very clearly middle of the country.
It was kind of he was just out of kitten. He was kind of a teenager.
Yeah, starting to be a teenager, talking back, all that stuff. And so he was still there. And it was like 3 days into this. And I finally clicked. I'm like, look, we can't do this cat at home. But what about the shop? Like, why not have a shop?
That's all
cat?
he had to say to me. I'm like, okay.
And then, so we took him here. We took him to the vet. We got him chipped. We still continued to ask around if anybody was missing this cat. But it's the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Someone has an extra cat. What are they going to do? They're going to take him out there and be like, good luck.
Good luck, cat.
Fly, little birdie. And so that's how Oreo came around. Since then, he has just dominated everything. He's very pushy.
He's in the shop right now. We think he's up in his. He
goes into the loft.
Yeah.
And he sits on a perch where he can see everything that happens. But I mean, he's just turned into this absolute whacked out weirdo cat, who's actually a lot more like a dog, which is why I tolerate his presence.
Yeah,
he tolerates mine.
You can actually tell him what to do, and he will listen. It's I've never had a cat that actually listens like a dog.
Yeah.
So
Todd is our editor. He says, Marc's gone from, I don't like cats to the sappiest cat dad ever. Look, I may or may not have photo sessions, and then I send those pictures to, everybody. So, I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
I love it. He's a cool cat.
I failed everyone.
And if you've ever been to our shop, he loves on everybody. When we had the Purple Heart event,
yeah.
Everybody was in the shop, and Oreo would just go from person to person and get all the pets.
Great question. Are we ever concerned about his hearing when I have to wear hearing protection? He doesn't stick around. And actually, as a courtesy, if I know, because he'll sleep on top of the planer. The Felder planer has a little strip of carpet on the top. He loves to sleep there. But if I'm going to fire up the tools, as a courtesy, I don't want to startle him and scare the crap out of him. I pick him up, I take him into the office, or I let him outside. So he's very rarely in the area when the noisy tools are running.
Yeah, so he's like the town's cat now.
We get calls from everybody. He's over at the volleyball courts, harassing the people in the concession stand. And they're like, is this okay? Because we have the number on the collar and all that stuff. It's like, he's fine. He's fine. And he would not be happy if we forced him to stay inside all the time.
Yeah. Tom wants to know if there's a website for the WIA show. There's a few posts out there if you just Google.
But we have a link.
But there's the link to, it's on Woodsmiths, and it'll give you more details of lodging, the presenters.
Yee.
I can't wait to see a lot of these people.
It's going to be great. What
I'm
other
excited.
questions do we have?
Yeah. We have a question from Todd, Todd Mason. As much as I have tried to avoid it, I think it's time for me to buy a real set of chisels.
Attaboy.
I have a set of Wood River that I can get sharp, but they don't seem to hold the edge. I've tried to do as much as possible with power tools, but there are limitations to what you can do with a router. Any recommendations for big boy chisels? Wayne, who was in the Patreon group as well, he had a recommendation. He said, I use Narex. I hear Lee Nielsen's are the standard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, of course you could find, I think Narex is going to save you, or Narex.
Narex.
I always get criticized for how I say
Narex?
that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can get good quality versions of those that I think would be great workhorses. But it sounds like you already have the kind of thing that would be, I do advocate 2 sets of chisels. I think there are tasks that we do where you don't want to use your really good ones and you just need one that's like fairly sharp, but then you have your stuff that's for finessing your joinery, and that's where you want your really razor sharp protected edges that you don't abuse, right? So that's why I personally like having 2 sets. But it sounds like you already have the first set. So now you're ready to upgrade to the second set. And I do have a recommendation. Flip to the other camera.
Flip to the camera.
Get out of here, carbon method.
Labor Day 25.
Labor Day 25, we're done with you. These are 2 examples of Blue Spruce chisels. Blue Spruce is a company. It's a company that I always kind of coveted. I really wanted a set of these a few years ago, several years ago. I bought a set of these, and this was right before woodpeckers purchased the brand. For some reason, at the time, they were having some trouble with their, let's just say their metallurgy, and I was having brittle edges.
Metallurgy?
Metallurgy.
Metallurgy?
That's like people who work with metals.
Okay.
I'm using stupid words.
Okay.
I
was just making sure
Totally
I
fine.
heard it correctly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did warn people that we were going to be idiots.
This is what you get.
But I sent those back. Well, since then, they've figured all this business out. Woodpeckers, I think, has done a great job with this brand, a highly respected brand, and they are making some amazing chisels. And these are just a couple examples. They've got different handle options. The handles are resin infused, so they're a lot heavier, which gives the chisel so much just beautiful balance in the way that you hold it in hand. And it is a very satisfying, I consider it to be a top-end chisel that you cannot go wrong with.
What is the brand?
Blue Spruce.
Blue Spruce.
Like the tree.
Yeah.
So check out their line. That's going to be my recommendation. There are others. There are many other chisel brands. The chat room will probably throw a few suggestions your way.
We already have, Alex says, I like Pfeffel. Pfeffel?
File.
Feifel? Fiffle?
I don't know.
Fiffle.
You put a P and an F together,
Fail.
and Americans don't know what to do with it. It's just the way it is. Chat room will give you some other suggestions. I'm keeping my suggestions simple. I'm going to say Blue Spruce gets my vote.
Spruce chisels. Yes. All right. We got a question here from Alan H. I'm considering getting a top shelf router table set up. I have an older Delta shaper with the router spindles as well. It's a robust setup, but dust collection is horrible. So I simply never drag it out. What recommendations would you give for a dedicated router table? I've seen the Jessam setup, Infinity tool cells, functional and dust collection are my top considerations. Cost is important, but I'm not budget constrained.
Okay. This is an area you can get down a real rabbit hole. So I have had Incra, I've had Jessam, I've had Woodpeckers in the last few years. Even Rockler now sells a nice variety of router tables that you can configure, including cast iron tops. I think they have that cast iron bench dog top, which is crazy because it would be nice. As much as I don't want to deal with it, having a nice cast iron top that doesn't sag in the middle over the time of holding a big ass router in there is kind of cool.
So the router can weigh on, is it particle board?
It depends. Sometimes it's like an MDF core with laminate. Sometimes
Okay.
it's like a particle board core. Sometimes they have reinforcement underneath to support it. Sometimes they don't. So ultimately, though, a lot of these companies have kind of figured it out. Even with a 3 horsepower router mounted in there, it stays pretty flat. Right now, I'm rolling with the Woodpecker setup. I really like it. What you're going to look for is who has micro adjustability. I think a good quality router table has to have a good micro adjustment. That's the thing that made Incra so special back in the day. But Woodpeckers now has a micro adjustment. I'm pretty sure Jessam has one too. And I think those would be the ones I would recommend you look at. But again, be careful because you're going to get into the weeds and you're going to get paralysis analysis kind of situation because there are just little things. Like this one has phenolic inserts. This one has aluminum inserts. This one has inserts that are perforated so that it works better with dust collection. Like it's a combination of things.
You haven't done any reviews on those, have you?
I did one years ago in the guild,
Okay.
but it's been a while.
Yeah.
So I change it once in a while because I like to be able to answer questions like this.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jessam was great. I moved over so I went from Incra to Jessam to Woodpeckers. They're all great. Like I can't say anything bad about any of them. Perfectly happy with what I've got with the Woodpeckers, and I could recommend wholeheartedly all 3 of those. So just dig into what the differences are between them and see if any of those matter to you, and then maybe close your eyes and pick one.
Write them down on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
put them in a jar and pull out.
Flip a 3-sided coin, whatever.
Or maybe one of them will be on sale.
That's true. You might have a sale. And again, look at Rockler too. They have a whole configurator where you can actually pick and choose the elements that you want added to the router table.
David K in the chat said he has a benchtop drill press answer. He has a Jet JWDP 12 that I got on sale at Woodcraft.
There you go.
A few years ago. And
What's
it
wrong with
worked great. Nicholas P has a question. Did you get a Tormek? I know you had one.
I've always had one.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I saw it in one of the backgrounds of your Instagram stories a while back. What do you think about it?
I think it's a great tool. I think when it comes to sharpening systems though, like it's funny.
You have 2. Is that 2 over
No,
there?
one's a grinder.
Oh, one's a
I've got
grinder.
a legit grinder, variable speed grinder, and then the Tormek. The Tormek system is great. It's a lot of stuff for sharpening, right? Because yeah, it does what it says it does, and it does it really well. And you got all kinds of attachments, but it's a hell of an investment. And all the things that you're doing over there, if you're just sharpening your regular plane and chisel blades, you could also do with a set of stones. And a set of stones just sit in the cabinet. They're not this big contraption. I don't have to add a bucket of water to it. I use Shapton ceramic stones, so I just have a little spray bottle and I keep it moist. And but that said, there are still times where I'll just go over there because like if I could put a little bit of water in that little trough, it can be a fun tool to use sometimes. So my personal use is just kind of, I just love my Shapton stones, so I keep going back to them. Let me put it this way, if I lost those stones, if they just broke one day, I probably wouldn't rush out to...
Can they break?
Well, if you drop them. Yeah. I mean, maybe the way you sharpen, they might. But I don't think I would feel like I'm at a loss if all I had was the Tormek. It's a pretty great way to sharpen stuff. Same thing with like Work Sharp. And I think the guys over at Tay Tools have their little sharpening thing that works with the drill press. There are so many systems you could adopt. If you just adopt that system and you live within that world, you're going to have sharp tools. And I think we, as woodworkers, tend to really overthink the sharpening process. And
Is that the one you have, this one?
it's one of, I don't know, Tormek came out with a couple different models.
Ooh,
But it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's a huge investment, but it can also be quick and easy to use. And the more frequently you use it, like I don't use it that often. So for me, I'm like, I got to put water in it. It's a whole thing. If you're using it all the time,
I think that's the one you have.
you might be near a sink. You might be more like maybe the trough is filled because you used it yesterday, right?
Oh, interesting. They have one with a Magnum kit with the
Magnum.
original sharpener.
That's just
and
the
then
right size for me.
It has a wood turner sharpening kit and jigs included.
Okay.
I'm going to add this to our Amazon store. Hey, we have an Amazon store.
Oh, we do, yes.
We do. So if you go to amazon.com/shop/the Wood Whisperer, you'll see a ton. I put photos, shoppable photos up there, and
You're gonna put the big one in there?
I don't know. That's cool. It has. It's a hand tool kit and a wood turner's kit.
Like they got stuff to sharpen scissors, so you could sharpen kitchen knives. There's a lot of things. If you're gonna go into that system, it's probably worth it to go.
I'm just gonna put it in the TWW Live category in our store. So that's pretty impressive.
What is the store address?
I said Amazon.com/shop/The Wood Whisperer.
I never remember that. Okay.
Good thing I do.
I actually did have a lower third that would have that info.
Oh.
I just didn't put it in the thing.
We're getting used, we're getting back to
This was all last minute.
Well,
I decided to do this yesterday.
I love that the title card still has Colorado in the background.
Yeah.
We got to take a picture of the shop and put that up there.
It's the picture of Oreo.
Yeah. Let's see. There was somebody that asked a question. This one. William, so great to have you and Nicole back. Really missed you guys. We missed you too.
Well, yeah, thanks,
That's why we're doing it again.
We're glad to do it.
Yeah. Patrick says, I hope you're not sick of shop moving questions. I'm moving later this year and going to an apartment for a few months. What took longer than you thought? Can I just do this all last minute? No, you can't do it.
I wouldn't do it last minute.
No.
At least for me, I mean, I don't know what you have in your shop. There was like almost 2 stages to the process. One is boxing things that can be boxed.
I remember you complaining about what was in the drawers.
Yeah.
Like going, holy crap,
That's a big factor. So if you have cabinets and drawers, all of those things need to be boxed up because, you really want to isolate the things that either you or your movers who aren't expecting heavy items, like folks like that, you want that stuff separated out so that you can go, okay, just take these boxes. It's all boxes. When you get to your appliances, like your tools and the things that are heavy that need a lot of extra attention, it's kind of a separate operation. So in addition to boxing everything up ahead of time, you're going to confront things like your clamps, which are kind of a challenge to move. Sometimes I will take my garbage cans, which are all on dollies. I will put a certain amount, not too many because it becomes top heavy, but I will throw a lot of clamps in there because some of those are just really hard to organize and to keep them together. A lot of other clamps, I will load maybe 5 or 6 of them together and get the stretch wrap business and just give it a good wrap. And this way, a lot of these smaller things, when you wrap them like that, now it takes 5 or 6 small tiny things and you just have one larger thing. And that's what you're trying to do, is reduce the number of misfit little things. Then when you get to your power tools, start looking at what might be able to be disassembled, what might not need to be disassembled. So a lot of people are inclined to completely disassemble their entire table saw, taking the wings off, getting it back down almost like it was shipped to you. You don't necessarily have to do that. If a mover is comfortable moving these large power tools, most of the time they will take it as is. You might take the legs off, get it to a point where it can move on a mobile base pretty well, but you don't necessarily need to take the table off, the rails off, all that stuff. But consult with the mover and see what they're comfortable with. But you're not removing that much weight. Now, if you're doing it yourself, okay, then you might want to take off every extra thing you can to make it as light as possible, right? But I found disassembling the table saw to be completely unnecessary. And then you want to just prep all the other tools, get your blades off of your tools, your band saws detensioned, get that blade off of there, and just start the prep process for everything else.
Jeremy T had something to add that Woodpecker's new, is it phenolic? Router tables are solid phenolic with machined in tracks. No longer uses the aluminum insert tracks.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So if it's machined in, that's fantastic.
Christian in the chat says, I need a good heavy duty measuring tape. But here in central US, Cobalt is the only one I've found that has metric units, and the only one on the underside. Where can I find a good 8 to 10, is that millimeter measuring tape?
A meter.
Meter, sorry.
What's the brand that has the lefty-righty tapes?
Somebody said Fast Cap.
Fast Cap, yes. So to Fast Cap gets a lot of love for their tape measures. And if I remember correctly, they've got a nice variety of tape measures that do stuff that other ones don't.
Oh yeah, everybody's recommending Fast Cap.
Yeah.
Even Todd. Hi, Todd.
Yeah, so go for Fast Cap.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement.
We got a question here from Jeff Porter. I heard a certain woodworking podcast refer to Scotchbite. I see what podcast is he?
I'm
not yours.
I'm not Jeff, so I don't know, Nicole.
I see the brand in kitchen sections and maybe on a package of steel wool stuff that someone else purchased. In the woodworking world, what do we mean by Scotchbite or perhaps other brands? What magic does it do?
Hit my other camera, would you?
Fancy.
So when we talk about Scotchbite, we're usually talking about stuff like this. It's basically just an abrasive synthetic pad. And Scotchbite is the brand, and you could certainly get Scotchbite brand.
Kind of
in fact,
Kleenex, right?
yeah, and we have this stuff in our store.
Oh, we
the
do?
Amazon store.
Oh, well, there you go.
So generally, you're going to find them color coded, and even if it's not the Scotchbite brand, I think most companies do try to color code for consistency. You'll find maroon, you'll find gray, you'll find green, and you'll find white. There may be more, but those are the ones I'm most familiar with. Each color corresponds to what would be like a grit equivalent. So typically your white is almost, it's almost non-abrasive, as smooth as it is. I mean, you can get a little bit of abrasion, but this is kind of like for polishing. I'll use this to add a hard wax oil onto a surface. It's just great for spreading finish. Excuse me, trying not to burp here. It's great for spreading finish. It's great for buffing a final coat of finish, but the white is typically going to be your smoothest. I don't remember where the green and the gray and the maroon lie, but they get coarser to the point where this is now, you know, if I sand this, I'm going to start making dust and actually start dulling the finish on my workbench. You can see I'm pulling up some stuff here, right? So that's really all it is. And if people are referring to Scotchbite, it's usually a product that is like this, whether it is Scotchbite branded or not.
So how does this compare to the Makr pads?
Oh.
Is that
well, the Makr pads
it's just
are
the
like
initial finishing?
So this is, think of this as like sanding.
Okay.
And Makr pads are applying.
Applying.
If you're laying down finish, it's a spongy, a very soft pad that you could lay down a good quality finish with.
Gotcha.
I don't have any of the Makr pads here, but we can talk about them in the future. I'm going to include them in a future Tools Unleashed.
Yeah. Makr, they're just called Makr pads?
Yeah, the brand is Makr.
Okay. We got a question here from Greg Bat.
Oh, Greg.
Greg, not sure if you can answer this.
I can try.
but do you say when the floating frame, when did you say the floating frame project will be released? And would it be a guild project or just a main site video? I need to make 4 of them.
Okay, we got a picture of this because it's at home already.
Yep, it's on our wall.
This is all he's talking about. It's a simple floating frame for canvas art.
Yeah.
Nicole has a couple of canvas art pieces. You know, obviously this one's customized. Those aren't our children. Those are just what JCPenney gave us.
Stop it.
They look like JCPenney kids.
They do look like, that's where we got the photos taken.
I figured that much. But yeah, if you have, you know, custom artwork, things like that, these canvas frames, they look a lot better when you actually have them in this kind of recessed,
it's like a nice finish.
Shadow box kind of frame, right?
Yeah.
This is a super simple project, and in fact, everything I made that with is off-the-shelf material, requiring very minimal cuts. So this is definitely not going to be a guild project. This will be a regular site release and on YouTube. When? Soon.
I think this is, you know, I find the canvas portraits all the time in like TJ Maxx. And why is it not going?
Because you're clicking the wrong thing.
Am I clicking the wrong thing?
You sure
camera.
are.
My bad.
Yeah, and you can buy these, but I think you're going to make compromises in the way it looks, maybe the spacing, because the idea is I have it like slightly recessed from the front face of the frame, and then you want a nice little gap around the outside. And then I painted it black, just because I like that.
Well, and
color.
I think I asked you to make additional ones that we got some nerd art when we went to the Kansas City Planet Con, and I would love like walnut, like really figured walnut.
Yeah, I can make a nice one.
So
yeah, basic stuff. But it's soon. Todd and I are trying to get our schedule laid out. What happens with editing is the guild courses slow things down dramatically. Like a guild course is equivalent to editing 12 very complex YouTube builds.
Yeah.
But it's all in one course, right? So Todd's time tends to get really sucked up by guild courses. So we're doing the best we can.
Yeah. But it should be coming out before the holidays, so you can maybe make some for the holidays. Boot TV.
Boot TV.
I don't know. How do you say his name?
I would say Boot V.
Boot V?
Not Boot TV.
Boot TV.
It sounds like a channel I'd watch. Love me some boots.
Missed you too.
Well, welcome back. We just made fun of you. If that's not classic Marc and Nicole style.
Oh, yeah. I love just seeing everybody. Where's the picture with the giant crayon? What's Alex talking about?
The picture with the giant
crayon?
Is it one of the kids' pictures that has,
Yeah,
did we
I
take
don't
I think that's a classic JCPenney photo. A child posing
with a giant crayon.
See, Alex's jokes you have to really think about sometimes. Because he's always going for a next level funny. It's not always the surface level.
I love everybody. The regulars are coming in going, oh my God, it's the morning show.
Hey, Joe. What's shaking, man?
Joe was one of our apprentices this year. He got to see behind the scenes.
He got to put up with me for a whole 5 days.
Yeah, I know.
It was intense.
Sorry, Joe. We got another question here from Fine Eye Woodworks, Elijah, on the subject of the barbecue cart. Was there a subject of the barbecue cart?
On the subject of his barbecue cart, which it must be continuing the conversation.
I'm struggling with I just spit, sorry. Designing the design aspect and good old casters. Have you ever cleverly hid them? Have you successfully incorporated them into a design that's aesthetically pleasing? To make things more complicated, the client prefers them to all move freely and each have locks versus potentially hiding two straight line casters and wheels and lifting the other side to move around. I'm open to all ideas that achieve functionality and mobility without ruining the overall look or just looking like casters were thrown on as an afterthought.
So I think a lot of times this comes down to the construction method you're using for the legs. You can hide casters, but it's not rocket science. You need to hide them. So if you have let's say an L-shaped leg, you can sometimes then put a little platform on the lower part of that leg and then have your caster mounted to that. And most of the caster is then kind of hidden with as long as it has enough room to fully rotate, the stop can still be engaged. Not always easily because it's inside and behind, but if the client wants it to be hidden but also wants access, they may just have to get on their hands and knees and push that button down. There also may be other types of casters. I'm not that well versed in the caster market, in that industry, so there certainly may be other things that are a little bit more discreet, easier to hide than what I would recommend, but that's usually what it comes down to, is putting it in a place you can't see it and structuring your table in a way that hides them automatically. People will do this with cabinets all the time. You won't necessarily be able to access them easily, but you could build a cabinet with kind of like a toe kick sort of structure with like a 4-inch space underneath, and you just make sure that you leave yourself maybe a 1/2 inch. So the height of the caster, the cabinet would be up a 1/2 inch from that to allow you some clearance when you're moving that big cabinet around, but the casters are then completely hidden from view. This is another thing I would rely on the chat room if you guys have suggestions for a caster system or a design that's a lot more discreet than what I just described.
You would think they would make designer casters.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you need to access them to put it in a certain mode, what else? You got to be able to access them. So what else can you do?
Yep. We have Gene. We've been watching a lot of Bob's Burgers. So.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. There are other ways that you can do things that allow it to sit up onto the casters and then like
lift it up.
I'm thinking of like the old Powermatic PM 2000s way of you kind of turn the screw and the casters come down, and then you lift the casters up, and then you don't need to lock the wheels because the whole unit hits the ground. So you can do things like that. I've seen designs with, I think Norm did a workbench that had a system like that, where you could kind of pop the casters up, and then when you lift it up, you pull them back under the legs. So look into that as well. I haven't done anything like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. You did interrupt, but that's okay. Gene is still here. Newer woodworker. I have the basics, so now I'm shopping for my first compact small table saw for my weekend projects. Saw stop is what I'm thinking, but I'm glad to hear your opinion.
I agree with you. I think as a new woodworker, it's really hard to go wrong with saw stop these days. They've proven themselves as a company that can make a good saw, right? And that's kind of, I think that's actually more important than the safety feature. Is it a good saw? And I think I haven't had any time with their smaller models. I just have the 3 horsepower PCS, but I haven't heard anything dramatic or bad about them. I think that's a very, very good choice.
We have Adam Turtle in the chat. Wife wants a TV stand. It has to go into a corner.
That's
and it's
Tuttle.
Sorry.
I like turtles.
Turtle. Sorry, Adam. It has to go in a corner and it's close to the fireplace. So the hearth blocks, it's going from in.
Oh, it blocks it from going in a
45 degree angle. Any design suggestions?
So it has to go in a corner. It's close to a fireplace. That blocks it from going in a 45. Any design? No.
Sorry, Adam.
I think
mount it to the wall. Mount the TV to the wall.
I need a picture. I really need to see the space, and I need to have an idea of what you're going for storage. I feel like I don't have enough information to answer this in any way that would be helpful to you. I'm sorry. But if anybody else is enlightened and knows exactly what he's talking about and has a suggestion, that's why the chat room's here.
Blocks it from going in at a 45.
I mean, I kind of get what he's talking about.
Yeah, you can't do it.
But then I don't know what can you do with that space?
How much space is actually there?
Yes. Right.
Again.
And what is it? A TV?
A TV stand. That's what I'm saying. Just mount the TV to the wall.
We all know TV is awful, so let's just not have a TV. Let's change our lifestyle. Fix everything. That's a joke.
Jesus is in the chat. There's a 12-inch Cutech benchtop joiner with a cast iron fence that I've been thinking of getting. Do you think in-feed, out-feed extensions can make this work for long boards?
I think in theory, yes. I think in actual practice, that's a giant pain in the ass, and I don't know that it's actually going to work.
Yeah.
A jointer really relies on those beds establishing a very clear and durable and non-movable plane. Extensions are everything but that. They tend to move. They tend to not stay where you put them. And if they don't hold and support the work in a perfect plane with your in-feed and out-feed tables, they can kind of cause the workpiece to skew. So I'm going to say that they could help. And if you design them really well and they're very sturdy, you could probably get some decent results. Maybe do some Googling. I'm sure someone has solutions for this benchtop jointer kind of dilemma that people run into. But in my experience, when I have tried things like that early in my woodworking, it was nothing but frustration for me. Because you really do want whatever you're going to build to be an extension, a true extension of that plane. And if it's anything other than that, it tends to really cause problems.
One of my Guild Scholarship winners is in the chat, Pecan and Pine.
Oh, nice.
And Roger said he's looking at him and so excited to start making. So yes, for those of you wondering what he's talking about, I try to every year open up Guild scholarships, and I've been sending out the notices that, hey, you got a scholarship. So.
Speaking of giveaways,
yeah,
let's do one today.
Okay.
We're going to do a giveaway for a Guild course. I might even run back into my storage room of doom.
Oh yeah.
And maybe just pick something off the shelf that I've been reserving for a giveaway.
Yeah, you have to. If I'm going to ship it to you, you have to be in the U.S.
Yeah.
So
it's just because we're cheap. So I mean, let's be honest.
And
so stay tuned.
It would work even better if you live close to us, because then you could just come to the shop and pick it up.
Yeah. So 2 giveaways coming up. Stay tuned. Don't leave. We'll pick from the chat room.
Rick wants to know, are you going to, or have you added a shop employee and helper? That would be me. I am the shop employee.
Well, I don't know if you've been watching.
No.
But we had 2 employees 3 times. So
Yes.
we had Jason back in Denver.
Yep.
After Jason moved back to Missouri, we had John for a little bit. When we moved, we
Hired
started
Jason
working
back.
here, hired Jason back. Jason quit again. It must be me, you guys. And now I'm solo again.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm going to stay solo for a while.
Yeah.
This business is difficult to run in terms of involving another person with expectations for what they should do with their time. Mm-hmm. Because I'm so scattered. I'm from one thing to another, so it makes it really hard to keep another person consistently busy and making them feel fulfilled in what they do. So right now, running solo, obviously I've got my team. I've got Todd who's in Texas, who does all of our editing. He does our travel and videography for guild courses. Nicole obviously is a big part of the business on the back end and the store and creative ideas. And my mom still handles a lot of the shipping and things like that. And then we have people who just help us out and help us keep the business going, like Brian Benham doing our plans and things like that.
Funk.
John Funk is an absolutely critical member of the team, though those two aren't employees. They're just people we hire out and kind of contract work, if you will.
But yeah, and that's kind of where like the apprenticeship kind of came in.
Yeah, we did 2 apprenticeships this year.
Yep.
We had both Joe Lapolito
and Matt.
And Matt came in, local Matt. And that was fun. We had somebody in here for 5 days, and then I kicked them the hell out.
But I can see us doing maybe not 5 days, but have somebody. I want to do some classes. So after doing the Purple Heart thing, I would like to do some classes.
I like how you do this, where it's like, I would like to do some classes. Those classes would involve you doing all the work, but I want to do classes. So
would you like to come here and take a class? It would be great.
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're throwing down.
I know what you're laying down.
All right.
What else we got?
I think that was the last question.
Do you want me to go?
Do we have? Oh, we have one from Rafael.
Was it Rafael's?
Yeah,
okay.
Rafael. Hola, Marc. I'm finally starting to build my workbench. Do you want me to put the workbench up?
Yeah, go put the picture up so they can see the bench.
I'll let you read it then.
Yeah, but it's hard. I'm finally going to start building my workbench. I purchased hard maple wood for the base and will be using the plans and videos for the hybrid workbench of the Guild. That's the picture you're seeing right there. The top is going to be quite different from the Guild's hybrid bench, mainly because I have a small size shop and I have to make the most available of the available space. So I'm planning on having a bench MFT assembly table, outfeed table, all in one piece. The top will be 60 by 48. The base, what's it say? The base will have to be wider than the hybrid workbench base. My question today is about the joints for the legs and the rails. Is it feasible to use dominos instead of tenons to cut in the rails? My level of precision in cutting tenons in the rails is not what I would like, and I found that working with dominoes and using the festival domino for the mortises gives me impressive results. The largest dominoes I can use are 10 millimeter thick, so I wonder if using maybe 2, 3, or 4 in every joint is enough. I have the festival 10 millimeter tenon stock, which can be cut to length. That's good. That's what you would need in this case. Another possibility would be to make the mortises with my plunge router, excuse me, also seen in guild videos, both in the legs and all the rails, and then make bigger loose tenons using the planer to get the precise thickness. What you think? Please say hello to Nicole. Hello, Nicole. Is that how you meant that? Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
So I was with him on the domino thing. The trick with the domino, if 10 millimeter is your max, so if we're talking about the Domino 500, not the big boy, you do have a problem with the depth and how deep you can go. Even if you have the longer tenon stock, which you can cut to your own lengths, you still have a limit to how deep you can go. Do I think this would work? Yes. I do think if you had a series, and I'm thinking, for the size of those parts, probably 4 per joint, it would be okay. I think it would be fine. Would it be better if you did idea number 2? Yes. If you go with idea number 2, now you can actually get much deeper mortises. You can get much thicker mortises on the scale of what a workbench like this should have, and I think you'll have better results. Now, where your challenge is going to come in is when you're taking your rails and trying to put your mortise on the end of those rails. It's a longer workpiece, so you might have to cobble something together. I do have videos showing how to make cuts like that. If you don't have a domino on the website, we can get a link for that if we can find it. But you're going to have to work on the end of that board. So typically that involves either standing it upright and getting on a step ladder, or you can kind of tilt it in a workbench vise at like a 45-degree angle, as long as the things you're controlling the router with have guardrails in place or something that allows you to support it. I would much rather see you go with loose mortise and tenon or slip mortise and tenon joinery here than the domino, if you could. But if you find that it's just too complicated or just a big pain in the butt, I don't think your bench is going to fall apart with 10 millimeter dominoes.
Alex actually had the 10-inch Cutech and said the extensions are finicky. So
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple super chats.
What?
Yes. What? Bill.
That's the only reason I'm doing this.
Bill Palmer is in the chat. We are blessed to watch you. My wife just had open heart triple bypass surgery at 65.
Holy crap.
We're watching you folks from Kansas. Bill, the deaf man woodworker from Kansas. Hey, Bill and wife. I hope you feel and recover very fast.
That sounds intense.
Yes.
I'm not sure this is the right place to go for healing, but I hope it helps and maybe brings a smile to your face.
OJ's in the chat.
Oh, good old OJ.
OJ.
The unpronounceable name.
I just call him OJ. Thank you for doing the show until you're 90.
We just might.
Was it the Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine movie?
Yeah.
Marvel Jesus.
They got you until you're 90.
Yeah. By the way.
That might be the reference.
That is a great movie. I loved it.
It is a little violent.
It's a lot of violent, but I loved it.
I don't recommend this for the deaf guy in Kansas City and his wife.
No, not right.
A little too much action.
Yeah, a little bit too much.
Did I read that right? He called himself the deaf man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bobby C.
Hey, Bobby C.
These are old jokes.
Never forget them.
Seeing the two of you enjoying the morning show has absolutely made my day.
Well, thank you, Bobby.
Bobby.
We really
it's
appreciate
made my
that.
day too. So
it's honestly been something that we felt was missing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like a critical element to our business. We're really looking at the business overall, coming to terms with like the world of content online. Really, if you're chasing statistics, dictates you do certain things. The problem is we don't want to do those things.
Yeah.
We want to really focus on our core, mission statement, the things we want to get out of this business. And unfortunately, that does mean that the numbers won't always go in our favor.
It means we will probably not get to 1 million subs on
I don't think it's
YouTube.
going to happen.
It's okay.
No, it's never going to happen.
It's okay. Thank
But
you for wanting us to get there.
Subs have never mattered less on
right?
YouTube.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of like cycling, mountain biking channels. There's a channel I watch, the Global Mountain Biking channel. Big outfit. It's the same thing. They have like another
GSN?
GCN.
What's GSN? Game Show Network.
Game Show Network, yeah.
I like
GCN
games.
is the Global Cycling Network, and their sister channel is the Mountain Biking. Anyway, the Mountain Biking channel has 2 million subs. Do you know what most of their videos get, or I should say a lot of their videos get in views?
30,000.
40,000?
40,000.
Right? Like, so subs doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. And channels who have far fewer, subs than we do, they are making content that people and YouTube want to see, and they're getting view counts that are insane. So you either play the game or you don't. And the problem is, I hate the game. I hate it with a fiery passion. And it's hard to run a business that relies on that.
But I find it fascinating what has evolved over. I always tell people it's been kind of cool to have a front row seat to how.
Yeah, from the start of this thing.
Since 2006, seeing it evolve from iTunes to RSS feeds to all of it. It's been fascinating as somebody who, I love technology, so.
Fascinating, equal parts fascinating and frustrating.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Because it's like you're
old now.
It's like you have a job, and I guess this actually does happen to people with regular jobs, where your boss comes in every year and changes your job description.
Yeah.
And you either do it or you don't make money.
Yeah.
Right? That's not fun. But I'd rather be doing this than anything else.
Oh yeah, totally. Bill, see, we're making his wife smile, or he said it could be the drugs.
Well, look. I mean, let's be honest.
It's probably
Everything goes down a little bit easier when there's some opioids
some pain meds.
involved.
Daniel K is in the chat, just did a nice super chat and said, because I would rather watch this than 27 tools you shouldn't buy.
Yeah.
Number 15 really
I bought some
surprised me.
tools on Temu, and you won't believe what I found out.
I hate Temu.
It's tough, guys. It's so tough. The pool of I could make videos like that. Oh, but I don't know that I would be able to live with myself.
We are getting old.
I would just rather fade off into the sunset, into obscurity, having made a difference.
No, you're going to
in
be
a smaller number
you're
of
going to
people's
be like
lives.
an 80s band. You're going to have your core audience that, is still going to the shows at the county fair.
So I'm going to be like, what's his name from Guns N' Roses?
No, he's still selling out stadiums.
I'm not saying he's not selling out stadiums. I'm saying he sounds awful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a hard life to live
Yeah,
and
it
a
is.
hard singing voice to do later in
Hey,
life.
your voice is holding up. The Missouri air is doing you well.
That's been something a lot of people who follow us might know, that my journey with this is that the dry temps or dry climate in both Arizona and Denver was not conducive to, for whatever reason, the amount of phlegm in my throat. And it has always been a challenge for me to do a morning show. It still may be a challenge, but there's one thing we've noticed is that I am vastly improved.
I think you're just thinking about it. You're just thinking about it.
Vastly improved living in an area that has a higher humidity. It's made a huge difference. And don't tell me to hydrate. I drink like a fish, like water, a little bit of unsweet tea here. It doesn't always help. But
Want some coffee with a bug in it?
Oh sure,
Look at
extra
my mug.
protein.
Look at my mug. It's a
Normally there's no
Halloween
protein
is
in your
coming.
drink. So yeah, anyway, point is things are a little bit better here.
Hey.
I'm gonna go pick an item
Oh,
for the giveaway.
Because I'm going to have to get going.
Okay.
But while you're doing that, Sue B is in the chat, and she just says, thanks, Nicole, for the inspiration you've passed on to others concerning the Purple Heart program.
Oh, well, speaking of the Purple Heart program,
Yeah.
I have Rob Costman's gum.
Rob left his gum. There we go. So while Marc is comically running into the other bay, I'm going to give away a guild project, and it can be. So if I'm just going to kind of scroll through and pick someone, I'm going to close my eyes and where my cursor goes. Christian Ramirez. I'm not sure I like the comment. I think you're joking. He says, time to get a new wife. Christian, if you email me, Nicole, Nicole, at thewoodwhisperer.com, I will get you set up with a free guild course of your choice. So if you go to thewoodwhispererguild.com, you can see all the courses. There's over 60 plus now.
Yes.
So
there's a lot.
there's a lot.
Okay. The item I'm going to give away, and forgive me, sometimes I give away used things because they still work and I just don't need them anymore.
What is that?
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This is made by Worksharp. This is the Ken Onion Worksharp sharpening system for kitchen knives and scissors. I've moved to something much more simple than this in my own kitchen, which is actually not as good in terms of like the edge that it puts on there and the style of sharpening that it does, but I'm lazy. This is actually a really cool system. So if you're not familiar with this, go look it up. The Worksharp Ken Onion edition.
How much is it?
I don't know. It's expensive.
Oh, okay.
For what it is, this
Yeah.
is not a cheap deal. But if you, like me, enjoy a nice, sharp kitchen knife,
Yeah.
this is going to be a fun thing.
And I've got wait till we get our new kitchen knife.
from Raiden, I think
Yeah.
is it. Next week
we'll show you.
There is a kitchen knife that's coming my way tomorrow. Super stoked. Anyway, but I'm going to give this. We're going to box this up and
All
give
right.
it to somebody. You might have to buy some of the belts that go with
The
it.
sanding belts.
Yeah, look into the other accessories that come with it. But this is the primary tool. I know a lot of you eat food, which means you probably also cook food, which means you need a good sharp knife. And this is going to be what's
So
going to
what
help
do you
with
want to
it.
say? Say sharp.
Sharp.
Say sharp,
Say
in,
sharp
the chat if you're
interested.
interested. And then I will randomly select someone. Sharp. So
Smells like Rob.
I need to go.
Smells like
I got
Rob.
a doctor's appointment.
Oh, all right. Well, then quickly pick a winner.
Yeah.
We didn't give them much lead time.
Well, we got a super chat from Omer. Marc, just wanted to say thank you for all the great content over the years. I've learned a lot from you, starting with my own Rubo. Lots of love. Oh,
Well,
thanks,
thank
Omer.
you. I think it's Omer.
Omer.
Omer Malik.
Did I say it right, or did he say it right? I'm curious.
We don't know. We're dumb Americans. Thank you so much. We really
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Seriously, we really appreciate you. So,
Yes. So while you're picking a winner, I'll just close everything out here.
yeah.
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for the support. I know for a lot of you, the show means as much to you as it does to us. So as long as we are healthy and everything is good and the kids are in school and we have the ability to come here and do this show, we would like to continue to do it. And I am super excited about having another opportunity to keep in touch with you guys, find out what's going on, get your thoughts on content that we make, ideas for what we can do to keep our most interested core members of our community just in the loop with what we're doing, and that's what this show does for us. So.
Okay, we got a bunch, so you tell me.
Yeah,
here,
baby.
I'll go to the first one, and
Okay, I won't look. Ready?
okay, you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Michael
Bodine.
Here, I'll just put your name up.
Bodewin.
Michael
Bodewin.
Bodewin. All right.
Bodoin.
Michael, email me, Nicole@thewoodwhisperer.com, and I will get you this tool.
This is yours, dude.
So there you go.
Let me know how it works for you. It worked for me great.
I like his avatar.
But then I got lazy.
It looks like you know what he looks like? That looks like a Cylon from
like a Cylon, huh?
from Battlestar Galactica.
Some kind of alien. Or it also looks like an alien from like Halo or something.
Yeah.
It looks like a weapon from Halo, actually, now that I think about it.
All right, I have a doctor's appointment I have to go to.
Yep. All right, let's
because
get
I
out of
think
here.
I have arthritis now.
What?
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Old lady?
I am.
What are you doing? We're supposed to be young. This was the one, I used to, remember I used to say that this is the one career path where getting grayer would make me more valuable. Because it was always the older gray woodworkers who were taken more seriously. And when I started with my stupid soul patch and my dark hair,
You're too young.
I was too young. No one took me seriously. That has changed a lot, though.
Oh, it is a Cylon. He said it's a Cylon.
Oh, good call.
And it's
Bedoin.
Bedoin.
Okay. Either way.
You won.
You know, one for two. Okay. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yes.
I think at this point we can say we will see you next week.
Yep.
And we'll do this again. Peace out.
Bye. And broadcast.